Welcome back to Podcast and Chill. I'm Jack, hopefully your favorite host, and joining me as always is the brilliant Mira.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mira. I'm not here for the jokes today, unlike Jack, but I am here for the deep dive.
Oh, come on, Mira. We need some balance here, you know? I handle the vibes, you bring the facts. It's a perfect system.
A system that usually ends up with us debating for 2 hours. Speaking of which, do you remember that community post where we asked everyone for podcast topic ideas?
Oh, of course. There were hundreds of suggestions. But one topic kept popping up, like more than all the others combined.
Let me guess. How to laugh at Jack's jokes?
Close, but no. It was how to become the best version of yourself.
Ah, that makes sense. But honestly, Jack, the best version of myself? That's a lot of pressure, isn't it? I mean, who even defines what best is?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. It sounds so big. So today we're going to help everyone, and ourselves, honestly, figure out how to take those first steps without the crushing weight of perfection.
Well, let's start with a hard question then. Jack, if you stripped away your job, your hobbies, even this podcast, who is the best version of you at the core?
Wow. That's deep for the first 5 minutes, Mira. I guess I'd want to be someone who is consistently curious. But honestly, most days I'm just trying to remember where I left my keys.
And that's the reality. Research from Harvard shows that people who regularly reflect on their core identity tend to make better decisions. But here's the kicker. Most people don't actually know how to reflect. They just worry.
Wait. I have to stop you there. I feel like people can get stuck in that reflection phase and never actually move. Isn't action more important than just thinking about yourself all day?
It's a balance, Jack. If you run a marathon in the wrong direction, it doesn't matter how fast you are. You're still lost. Reflection is the compass. Action is the feet.
Okay, I get the metaphor, but, I think a lot of people use reflection as an excuse to delay the hard stuff. Like, oh, I'm still figuring out my best self, so I can't start the gym yet.
Fair point, but that's where we get into the science of goals. You know, most people fail because their goals are simply, they're too big for their current brain chemistry.
Brain chemistry? Now you're speaking my language. Tell me more.
Think about it. If you say, I want to be a millionaire by next year, your brain looks at your bank account and immediately triggers a stress response. It's too much of a gap.
Oh, tell me about it. My brain would probably just shut down and go look for pizza instead.
Precisely. Instead, we need to focus on what scientists call micro habits. It's about making the goal so small that it's literally impossible to fail.
Like drinking 1 glass of water?
Exactly. Or even smaller. If you want to write a book, tell yourself you only have to write 1 sentence a day. That's it.
But Mira, 1 sentence a day? It would take 50 years to finish a novel at that rate. Isn't that, a bit too slow? I'm an energetic guy. I want results.
It's not about the sentence, Jack. It's about the identity. When you write 1 sentence, you become a writer. Once the brain accepts the identity, the volume naturally increases.
I see. So it's like building a bridge? Once the structure is there, you can drive as many cars over it as you want?
Exactly. You're building the neural pathways. But here's something most people miss. And this is the open loop for today. There is a specific secret to beating that initial, I don't want to do it feeling. It's called the 5-second rule.
The 5-second rule? Like, if I drop my pizza on the floor and pick it up in 5 seconds, it's still good?
No, not that one, though I know you follow that religiously. It's a psychological tool to bypass hesitation. We'll dive into exactly how to use it in a few minutes, but first, let's talk about the ugly side of progress.
The ugly side? You mean the part where I try to go for a run and look like a dying potato?
Basically, we live in this Instagram world where everyone's best self looks perfect from day one. But real growth is messy. It's failing. It's making mistakes.
I agree with that. But I feel like fear of failure is the number one thing that kills dreams. People are so scared of looking stupid. I mean, I was terrified before our first episode of Podcast and Chill.
Were you? You seemed so, well, loud.
That was the nerves. I was talking fast because I was afraid of the silence. But then I realized the silence is where the listeners actually think.
Exactly. University of California did a study showing that fear of failure often stems from a fixed mindset, the belief that your abilities can't change. If you fail, it means you are a failure.
Right. Whereas a growth mindset means you see the failure as just data? Like, okay, that didn't work. Let's try something else.
Spot on. It's like building a muscle. You have to tear the fibers to make them stronger. If it doesn't hurt a little, you aren't growing.
Okay, I'm with you on the mindset, but let's get practical. Let's say I have the mindset and I'm doing my micro habits, but I'm still surrounded by people who just, well, they don't get it. They're negative.
Ah, the social audit. This is controversial, but you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your friends are constantly pulling you back to your old self, it's almost impossible to maintain the new one.
Whoa, hold on. Are you saying I have to dump my friends? That seems a bit harsh, Mira. I've known some of these guys since middle school.
I'm not saying dump them, Jack. I'm saying manage the influence. You can't let someone else's lack of ambition become your ceiling.
Well, I think I disagree a bit. I think if you're strong enough in your own journey, you can actually inspire them to change. Why does it always have to be them pulling me down? Why can't I pull them up?
I love that optimism, Jack. Truly. And sometimes it works. But you have to be careful not to drown while trying to save someone who doesn't want to swim.
Drown while trying to save someone who doesn't want to swim. That's a heavy thought.
It is, but let's pivot back to that secret I mentioned, the 5-second rule. This is how you actually start the swim.
Okay, I'm ready. No more pizza jokes. How does it work?
It's simple. The moment you have an instinct to act on a goal, like getting out of bed or making a hard phone call, you count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Wait, that's it? Just counting?
Yes. Counting backwards interrupts the habit loops in your brain that cause hesitation. It shifts the control from your emotional brain to your prefrontal cortex. It's a physical intervention.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You know, I actually tried something like that this morning when I didn't want to hit the gym. I didn't give myself time to think. I just moved.
Exactly. If you think for more than 5 seconds, your brain will come up with 1,000 reasons why you should stay on the couch. Your brain is designed to keep you safe and comfortable, not successful.
Wow. So my own brain is kind of my own worst enemy when it comes to growth.
In a way, yes. It prefers the old you because the old you is a known survival path. The best you is unknown and therefore dangerous to your biology.
That explains so much. No wonder it feels so hard to change.
But once you understand the why, it becomes a lot easier to ignore the resistance.
Okay, let's talk about vocabulary for a second, because we have a lot of English learners listening. You used the word self-reflection. Can we break that down?
Sure. Self-reflection is the process of looking inward to understand your thoughts, emotions, and motivations. It's like being the scientist and the subject at the same time.
And habits? We talk about them a lot, but what's the technical definition?
A habit is an automatic behavior that's triggered by a cue. You don't think about brushing your teeth, right? You just do it. The goal of personal growth is to make being your best self an automatic habit.
I love that. Making success automatic.
Exactly. But before we move into the final part of our discussion, continuous learning, I want to ask our listeners something.
Oh, good idea.
What is one tiny micro habit you can start today? Just one. Tell us in the comments. We actually read them, and it helps build that community accountability.
Yes, please share. And hey, if you're enjoying this deep dive, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps us keep the lights on here at Podcast and Chill.
Good one, Jack. Very smooth. Now, let's dive into why your brain actually needs to keep learning to stay happy.
Wait, learning makes you happy? I thought school made people, well, stressed.
School is often about forced learning. We're talking about curiosity-driven learning. Stanford research shows that people with a growth mindset literally have more active pleasure centers in their brains when they tackle a difficult task.
So, the struggle is the reward?
Precisely. When you learn something new, your brain releases dopamine. It's a natural high.
Well, I definitely felt that high when I finally learned how to edit our videos. It was frustrating at first, but now I feel like a wizard.
A wizard, huh? Well, Wizard Jack, did you know that learning also protects your brain as you get older?
I've heard that, like doing crosswords or learning a new language.
Yes. Research from the University of Texas found that people who keep learning into their 70s and 80s have much lower rates of cognitive decline. It's use it or lose it.
That is powerful. So becoming your best self isn't just about money or status. It's literally about keeping your brain alive and healthy.
Exactly. It's a lifelong journey, not a destination.
I think that's a great place to start wrapping things up. Mira, any final thoughts for someone who feels stuck?
Yes. If you feel stuck, it's because you're looking at the mountain instead of the next step. Stop trying to become your best self. Just try to be 1% better than you were yesterday.
1%. That's doable. I can do 1%.
We all can. And remember, we've prepared that free PDF with all these tips and a reflection worksheet. Make sure to click the link in the description. And most importantly, make a copy so you can edit it yourself. Pattern interrupt.
Yes, go grab that PDF. It's a game changer. Mira, this was great. I actually feel a lot less pressured now.
I'm glad, Jack. That was the goal.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Podcast and Chill. We'll see you next time. Stay curious.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Wait, Mira, did you really mean the 5-second rule doesn't apply to pizza?
Jack, no. Just no.